by his infamy.
I looked, evidently threw an unconscious bat on the stage, and he thought it was a rubber bat, whatever. He picked it up and bit the head off. John's going, "Tell me it's real." I'm going, what?
Why is Ozzy Osbourne transferring his consciousness into YungBlud? And why do they feel the need to include their DNA in their products? Every single time a celebrity has a deal with Liquid Death, like Lil Nas X, he put his DNA in the shoes, Tony Hawk put his DNA in the skateboard, and now YungBlud is putting his DNA in his records, and they're selling out. So initially I decided to go on the hunt to figure out why the F people want to drink things called Dead Billionaire, Dr. Death. But what I stumbled upon was a little bit more sinister than that, where Ozzy Osbourne has now donated his DNA to Liquid Death to become infinitely recyclable Ozzy. For $450, you can buy an empty can of Liquid Death that Ozzy Osbourne has drank out of. Choose a flavor, any flavor, and you'll even get an autograph. He even left trace DNA from his saliva that you can now own. Now when technology and federal law permits, you'll be able to replicate Ozzy Osbourne and enjoy him for hundreds of years into the future. DNA integrity and cloning results not guaranteed. Liquid Death also has a pretty interesting ad of Ozzy on their page if you want to go see it. It's what the F is going on in this world?
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Janae, and in today's video we're going to talk a little bit more about the passing of Ozzy Osbourne. So if you don't know who Ozzy is, Ozzy was a heavy metal rock artist, also known as the Prince of Darkness. He was a part of a group called the Black Sabbath, a really big deal, right? He also had a show called The Osbournes, which is how I was introduced to Ozzy Osbourne. And I mean, I would watch that show like every day, or whenever it came on, girl. Let me not be dramatic. So I wanted to get on here and talk about this because now the conspiracy theories are rolling out in regards to Ozzy Osbourne's death as it relates to YungBlud.
Ozzy didn't die on stage, but something definitely got passed on that night. His last show was really emotional. Fans were literally calling it his funeral. But if you look a little closer, it kind of seemed like a ritual where he passed the torch on to YungBlud. Now I get people's interests change and interests evolve and artists change and evolve, but fans that used to hate him now love him. They're even going around and saying he's the next Ozzy, which inspired this fan theory. This is just a combination of a bunch of facts. This is just a fan theory. I am not saying it's true. This is just for fun. In 2022, YungBlud drops The Funeral. Ozzy appears and gives him this gold cross from his neck. Right before Sabbath's final show, YungBlud gives it back to him and it's now covered in diamonds. And fans think that this is symbolic, like Ozzy offered protection and YungBlud gives it back transformed. Almost like he's saying, I'm ready. At the final show, YungBlud sings Changes. It's incredible, and the song itself is about like grief and evolution. He nails this. And some say that it doesn't feel like a performance, but it rather feels like a ceremony. Backstage, Ozzy tells him, go conquer America first. And that's not casual, it's a mission. It's like a king blessing his heir. You can even see during this part that YungBlud is on his knees, bowing to him. And yes, he is a king of music, but also maybe this is a little deeper. People notice YungBlud looks like a young Ozzy and an early Kelly. And at certain points, Kelly and Sharon have literally said it. It's not like vibes. It's almost like they're checking if this transfer worked. In the funeral video, Ozzy touches YungBlud's forehead, and right where his third eye is in his forehead. And in occult symbolism, that is a spiritual trade-off. Legacy, power, energy. The Osbournes don't hype anyone up like this. But with YungBlud, it's socials, interviews, shows, they are loud. It feels like more than support. Maybe they have chosen him. Do you think there was a spiritual transfer? Do you think there was a ritual that worked?
YungBlud is also a heavy metal artist. I think he's 30 or under the age of 30, and he really does embody the sound of Ozzy Osbourne and the look. He looks as if he can be one of Ozzy Osbourne's children. Like someone even made a joke and said he looks like Kelly Osbourne before she became, the Kelly Osbourne that we're familiar with today. So a lot of fans are speculating that Ozzy knew that he was going to pass away because they recently did a concert about 2 weeks ago. He reunited with his band, the Black Sabbath, and they had not performed together in over 2 decades. And so people said that Ozzy gave a very powerhouse performance, and it was like seemingly like this was his last show and he knew that he was about to pass away soon, which I find interesting nonetheless, because when the news broke that Ozzy passed away, they said he passed away when he was surrounded by family, as if the family was prepared and knew that Ozzy's time was coming. And so a lot of people are connecting the dots as it pertains to YungBlud and Ozzy. And so basically what they're trying to say is that I took it as he's passed the torch along to YungBlud, but people are thinking it is a little bit deeper than that. So you know how I said that, to me, I think it's like he passed the torch, but a lot of people are thinking that Ozzy literally passed his soul on to YungBlud.
One thing I found very interesting is how the Osbournes are publicly promoting YungBlud, unlike any artist they have ever promoted before. Many are also saying that he looks exactly like the Osbournes and could have fit right in. He almost looks like Kelly before Kelly stopped looking like Kelly. But anyway. Another thing I found interesting was his music video, Funeral, in which, if you know anything about symbolism or why some celebrities touch another celebrity's third eye or they connect third eyes, just like Marina Abramovic and Jay-Z, what they are saying is, whatever entity is inhabiting in you, I welcome into me. So when you have a transfer of consciousness, what will happen is he's going to feel a lot like Ozzy Osbourne. He's going to represent all the same mannerisms. He's going to represent the same characteristics, maybe even have the same favorites. What I found even more interesting is after this took place, Sharon Osbourne and Kelly Osbourne sat down with YungBlud and questioned him on how similar him and Ozzy Osbourne were.
10 o'clock in the morning, like watching
I can't believe it. I'm like, Ozzy's the same.
Really?
Yeah. Always.
Drink. I like fucking war movies, mate. Like, I'm weird. You'll see me like at 10 o'clock in the morning, like watching
I can't believe it. I'm like, Ozzy's the same.
So I don't know, you guys are going to have to tell me what you think, because that felt more like an interview to see if the transfer went through.
And so basically fans are speculating this was kind of like a secret ritual that they did. And so back in 2022, YungBlud had recorded a music video to the song The Funeral. And so Ozzy Osbourne made a cameo appearance onto the video. And during the shoot, Ozzy Osbourne gave YungBlud this gold cross that he wore in 1991. And so, which was like an heirloom, basically. And fans saw that this was something that was more than just a gift to YungBlud. And so, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, Ozzy did his last performance with the Black Sabbath. And Blood was one of the only artists that got to perform under the age of 30 at Ozzy in the Black Sabbath's reunion performance, and he performed the song Changes. And so people was saying like this was like the ultimate symbolic passing of the torch with him singing that song Changes. And I went to go watch the performance. I didn't know I was familiar with it, because I didn't know I was familiar with any Ozzy Osbourne song, but I was like, oh, I know this song, and that's a really good song. I was like, oh, Ozzy got some hits, babes. Okay, but if you listen to the lyrics of the song I'm Going Through Changes, at the very beginning of the song, Ozzy is saying, and also at the concert where YungBlud, he says, and I'm going to quote, "I feel unhappy, I feel so sad, I've lost the best friend that I've ever had." So those are the first lyrics of the song. So interesting enough, YungBlud and Ozzy had this really strong connection and really strong bond where people was like, Ozzy was really a father figure for YungBlud. Like, I believe even Sharon and Kelly have spoken. I was like, he could be a part of my family. That's how tight-knit they were. After YungBlud did his performance and after the concert was over, there was like some backstage footage showing YungBlud essentially going up to Ozzy and giving him that, seemingly giving Ozzy back that diamond encrusted cross that he received a couple of years ago at his video shoot for the music video Funeral. And so also there was like some other things like Ozzy, you know, with his connection with Ozzy and with the connection between Ozzy and YungBlud, fans are speculating like when Ozzy was seen placing his hand on YungBlud's forehead, which is your third eye, a lot of people saw that it was like a soul transfer, like he was transferring his soul or whatever into YungBlud. I do think it's interesting. Do I think that he was transferring his soul and all of that? Not necessarily, but I do think there's a lot of great symbolism to play around with for people to speculate and talk about in regards to beliefs, and like if y'all really think that's what Ozzy Osburne and YungBlud were doing. Girl, I don't know. I know a lot of people believe in the occult and stuff like that, and a lot of people believe that we do come back onto this earth. I don't know. I don't know how true all that is, but I do think that this was a very interesting conspiracy, and I wanted to talk about that because I didn't know who YungBlud was, but when I was like researching about Ozzy Osbourne and like him passing away, a lot of people was fanning out about YungBlud and the connection between YungBlud and Ozzy. Girl, they even going as far as calling them vampires. Now, I do know a lot of people do think vampires are real. And I am in the place where we have a lot of vampires apparently. So a lot of people thought this was like some sort of vampire cult type thing between YungBlud and Ozzy Osbourne. It's all interesting at the end of the day. Ozzy Osbourne really was a rock legend. He really did contribute a lot to heavy metal and rock music. He has a lot of fans. I was a fan of the show. That's how I was introduced to Ozzy Osbourne. Girl, I will always remember him as the weird man who bit that bird's head off, who bit that bat's head off. I didn't know he referred to himself as the Prince of Darkness until recently. Girl, that sounds like the Prince of the Demon, hell, like, so. But I'm not gonna go there with y'all because I know he got some fans. I ain't gonna go there. Okay. Weird name. Weird little nickname, though. But anyways, you guys, my name is Brittany Janae. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And what do y'all think about this whole connection with YungBlud and Ozzy Osbourne?